One of the large aspects of wireframe editing is actually editing the shape of those wireframe elements. You can edit the segments, you can edit the points, but changing that shape is what we really get to a lot of the time. So let's take a look at some of the tools that we have to do that. In DesignShop, I have a wireframe, just rectangle selected right here. It's a complex fill. When I select it, you can see the wireframe outline. You see these light blue triangles that represent those straight points. Those straight points indicate any sharp angle typically. And they're on each corner, and in between them you have a darker blue wireframe line. If I want to edit that line, I can hover over that line. I get a little line beside my cursor. If I left click, I'm going to add a straight point. If I right click, I'm going to add a curve point. So let's left click to add a straight point, right click to add a curve point. When I add a curve point, it also adds the Bezier handles. I can click and drag on one of those points to move that point. You can do that with a curve point or a straight point. I can also click between points and click and move just a line segment. When I'm moving a curve point, it will move that Bezier handle with it. I can also click on the edges of the handle or the ends of the handle and move that as well. Now the big difference between a curve point and a straight point, both can have Bezier handles coming off of them. In fact, if I want to pull a Bezier handle out of a straight point, I can hold Shift and click and drag on that point to pull a handle out of there. Both straight and curve points can have those handles. The difference is on a curve point, when I move one handle, the other handle moves with it. With a straight point, I can move them independently of each other. So that's the big difference in those two. If I don't want to just move the Bezier handles with that curve point and I want it to arc out perfectly, I can hold Control and drag on that point to generate a perfect arc between the 2 points on either side of it. So you've got options for generating a curve from a straight point. You can add a curve point and move that as well. We can move just a segment if we need to. If we want to straighten out a curve, so we've got a curve here, I don't want it there anymore, I can hold Control and I can right click on that line to straighten that out. So I can add points by left clicking on a line. I can add curve points by right clicking on a line. If I want to change, so I've got a straight point here, if I want to change this point from a straight point to a curve point, I can do one of two things. One, I can select it, right click on it and go to Properties, and I can change it using these radio buttons. So I can select curve, hit apply and OK, and that changed it that way. Or what I could do, let's give ourselves another example. So in between two straight points, I have another one. If I hold Shift and click on it, it will become a curve point and it will arc out. So you've got a couple of different ways to do that. You can convert one from a straight point to a curve point. You can convert it back. If I convert it back, those handles stay put. However, I can still move those handles independently. So that might be where you want to straighten out that curved line, and you can do that again by holding Control and right clicking on it. So you've got a lot of options for editing your wireframe lines or your wireframe points. And you can look up, if you forget what some of those are, you can look those up either by rewatching this video or you can look them up in your help system.